Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to stand before you today and talk about something that holds the power to transform not just your world, but the very essence of who you are. That power is the choice to change your life. We often find ourselves trapped in the monotony of daily routines, overwhelmed by the weight of expectations, or burdened by regrets of the past. Yet, change is not only possible, it is within your reach. The key to unlocking this change lies in the understanding that transformation begins from within. It begins with a shift in mindset and a commitment to growth, no matter where you are in life. In every moment, you have a choice. You can choose to remain where you are, or you can choose to move forward into the life you've always imagined. But the first step is understanding that the change you seek doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from the internal decision to improve. Think about this. The life you want, the success, the peace, the joy, it all starts with the person you decide to become. Changing your life is not about waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, or the right opportunities. It is about taking responsibility and recognizing that you and you alone hold the power to create the future you desire. But it's important to note that change is not easy. It demands discipline, courage, and persistence. It requires that you face your fears and confront your weaknesses. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. But know this, with each step you take, you move closer to the life you deserve. So let me leave you with this. The power to change your life is not some distant dream. It is a reality waiting for you to embrace. It's not about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about making the decision to start today, to take that first step, and to trust in the process. Your future is not determined by the past. It is shaped by the choices you make today. I encourage you with all sincerity to embrace the power of change. Look at your life with a renewed sense of purpose and believe that the best is yet to come. Transformation truly begins from within. We often look outside ourselves for the things that will bring change into our lives, hoping that a new job, a different relationship, or a change in our financial situation will make the difference. We are conditioned to believe that the world around us must change first before we can change. But that is not the truth. Real transformation occurs when we make the conscious decision to shift our mindset, to alter the way we think about ourselves, our circumstances, and the future that lies ahead of us. When we speak of transformation, we are not just talking about physical changes or superficial adjustments to our daily routines. True transformation reaches deeper. It touches the very core of our being. It involves examining our beliefs, our fears, our doubts, and our dreams. It requires a shift in how we perceive the challenges we face and how we approach the opportunities that come our way. At its core, transformation is a process of self-discovery, where we confront who we have been, understand where we are, and make a conscious decision about who we want to become. For many, this shift is difficult. It is easier to blame external factors for our struggles than to take a hard look at ourselves. We might tell ourselves that we cannot change because of our circumstances, that the environment we are in defines our future, or that our past mistakes are an insurmountable barrier. But this mindset keeps us stuck. We become prisoners of our own limited beliefs. We convince ourselves that we are not capable of doing better, achieving more, or living a life of fulfillment. And yet the power to change our lives, to break free from those limitations, lies not in the world around us, but in the way we choose to think. Our minds are incredibly powerful. They shape our experiences, dictate our responses, and influence our actions. The thoughts we entertain and the beliefs we hold about ourselves form the foundation of everything we do. When we view ourselves as incapable, unworthy, or destined to fail, we unknowingly create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Our actions, behaviors, and decisions reflect the belief that we are not enough. And as a result, we remain stuck in patterns that keep us from growing. But when we choose to change the way we think about ourselves, when we decide to believe in our own potential, we open the door to limitless possibilities. This internal shift requires intentional effort. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always easy. In fact, it can be one of the most difficult journeys we embark on. It's easier to remain comfortable, even if that comfort is painful, than it is to face the discomfort of growth. But growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Change requires us to challenge the old narratives we tell ourselves and to replace them with new, Empowering beliefs. We have to embrace the idea that we are not defined by our past or by the failures we have experienced. The past does not dictate who we are today or who we can become. Our future is not predetermined. It is shaped by the decisions we make in the present moment. To begin this process of transformation, we must first recognize that our thoughts are the starting point of everything we do. The way we think about challenges will determine whether we see them as obstacles or opportunities. When we view obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow, we shift our perspective and take ownership of the situation. We become proactive, seeking solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Similarly, the way we think about ourselves will determine how we respond to success and failure. If we see ourselves as capable, resilient, and worthy of success, we will act accordingly. But if we see ourselves as undeserving or incapable, we will hesitate to take risks or pursue our goals with the vigor required to succeed. It is also important to understand that this transformation is not about perfection. It is about progress. The road to change is not always linear and setbacks are inevitable. But how we respond to those setbacks is crucial. If we allow failure to reinforce our limiting beliefs, we will remain stuck. But if we choose to view failure as a stepping stone, as a necessary part of the growth process, we begin to see challenges differently. Instead of being defeated by them, we become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Ultimately, the internal transformation that leads to external change begins with one simple decision: the decision to believe in the power of your own mind to create a new reality. It starts with the belief that you have the ability to shape your life, that you are not a passive observer, but an active participant in the creation of your future. When you make this decision, you begin to cultivate a mindset that is open to new possibilities, that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth, and that sees setbacks not as failures, but as part of the process of becoming the best version of yourself. Your life will never change until you change your mindset. External circumstances may change over time, but true transformation will always begin within. By shifting the way you think about yourself and the world around you, you unlock the potential to create the life you desire, one that is rich with meaning, purpose, and fulfillment.